In this video, we're going to begin a small project where we're going to create a chainmail from scratch. You could also apply this technique to creating something like a wool sweater or knit cap or any other type of object where you want to create a similar pattern all the way across the span of an object. So let's get started by going to the File menu. Now you could import your character which you plan to apply the chainmail or the cloth object to, and use the polygons from that model in that particular area to not only generate the cloth object, but also to generate your retopo mesh, which we would bake all the detail down to. But in this case, I'm going to start with either something like this, the human primitive or the mannequin. And this will be my base object. So I'm just going to pick the one I want to keep, and I'll delete the ones I don't need. I want to make this independent of its parent layer by right-clicking, choosing Change Parent, Root. Okay, and I'll also choose this section here, and I'll drag that into this other hierarchy. So that's our upper section. Now with this one, I can delete that. I'll also select this head and neck layer and delete that. The hands I'm going to keep as sort of a pinning object for the cloth simulation. You'll see what I mean here shortly. But the left hand here, I'll pick that. You see 3D Coat chooses it automatically here in the Voxtree layer panel. And with this one, I'm going to use the transform tool to rotate it up just a little bit so it catches the cloth or prevents it from slipping down past the wrist area. Okay, so that looks good enough. And I'll step out of the transform tool. Now, with the hand, you'll notice we have all these child layers, which are all the digits here for the fingers. I want to merge all of these together into the parent layer by right-clicking and choosing Merge Subtree. Okay. Now, this other hand, I don't need it. So I'll select it and just delete it. The reason being is I will copy this one over after having, rotated it. Now I could have done the same thing to the other one, but I think it's a little bit faster just to go ahead and copy this one over. So let's do that. Let's hit the S key now to turn symmetry on. And I want to make sure that I have the right layer selected. Turn symmetry on. And I can just lightly tap the side I want to copy from, and then click Sim Copy. Okay. So there we go. Now with this one, I will make that independent. This is another way that you can do that, as opposed to just right-clicking and choosing Change Parent. A couple different ways you can do it. But this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to merge all these layers together, but I don't need symmetry on for this. Okay, let's right-click and choose Merge Subtree. There we go. One thing I want to point out is when you are working with voxels, you'll notice that objects that are very close together or touching will essentially get fused together. We want to clean this up a little bit though, so I'll scroll down to the bottom and click Smooth All a few times. So to fill in a little bit more, let's go ahead and right click and drag up. With the fill tool, I like to exaggerate it quite a bit because sometimes it'll still leave a small indentation. There we go. Oh, let me undo. And now we need to turn symmetry on. Okay. So that we don't have to do the work twice as we fill this in. And I'm going to turn shadows off. You can do that from the geometry menu right here. Okay. I think that will suffice for now.